The face that you're about to see is the face of someone that has $10 million on the Astros to win the World Series. That is Mattress Mac watching Bryce Harper hit a 2-run home run. You can see his soul leave his body as soon as that ball was hit. Kind of feel bad for the guy, but then again, I don't. What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to break down, including discussing whether or not Lance McCullers was tipping his pitches. Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez, as well as myself, we think that he was. I don't know why I just put myself in the same conversation as a Hall of Fame pitcher, but you know, I did some research. I saw a few things. Now, before we break down Game 3 and Lance McCullers, I want to go ahead and show these graphics right here. So as I'm talking, you guys can see that in the American League, the Guardians, they kind of dominated. They had 4 players take home a Gold Glove. We can see that Vladdy Jr., he took home his first career, which is crazy because I didn't realize that he had that good of a defensive season. And Jeremy Pena, the rookie, keeps on adding to his trophy case. He's got the ALCS MVP. He's got a Gold Glove now. He has had a fantastic rookie season in replacement of superstar Carlos Correa. In the National League, we saw Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ. We saw a guy named Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks win their first career Gold Gloves. We saw Jeremy Pena, a rookie, win a Gold Glove. A fellow rookie, Brendan Donovan, who I think had an almost 400 on base percentage as well. He wins his first career Gold Glove in his first season. Mookie Betts won his 6th Gold Glove. JT Realmuto grabs his 2nd in the same year, in which he became the 2nd catcher ever to have 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in a single season. So let me know in the comments, do you think that JT Realmuto is a top 10 catching talent of all time? Because I'm trying to think of 10 other guys that have more talent than JT Realmuto. I'm talking about power, defense, speed, arm. I mean, JT Realmuto is pretty much the perfect catcher in my opinion. But the craziest stat to me before we talk about Game 3, Nolan Arenado just won his 10th consecutive Gold Glove in a row. He is the 2nd player in history to do that. And if you're wondering who the first player was to do that, it was a guy named Ichiro Suzuki, who, side note, I really miss. Now, speaking of Ichiro, Nick Castellanos has turned into Prime Ichiro in October. He has made web gem after web gem over there in right field. So he started off Game 3 with yet another dive, and the Phillies, they turned up the heat from there. Bryce Harper continues to fulfill the prophecy as the chosen one, bashing his 6th home run already of the postseason. He then called over Alec Boehm. He was whispering something in Alec's ear, so we're going to talk about that in just a moment. It was either one of 2 things. 1, Lance McCullers is tipping his pitches, or 2, Lance has a pitch tendency. And the thing that I gathered is that Lance McCullers was just spamming off-speed pitches to lefties, and he was throwing sinkers inside to righties. So it was either he was tipping or he was simply very predictable. Now, of course, before we break that down, there is Alec Boehm teeing off after Bryce Harper had that conversation with him, and the Phillies, they embarrassed Lance McCullers from there. They teed off for 5 home runs in a single game. Lance, he only gave up 4 home runs over the course of the 2022 regular season, so he got absolutely bodied. He became the first pitcher in World Series history to allow 5 home runs. That is definitely not a record you want to take home with you. Now, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Ranger Suarez. This kid has ice in his veins. He has only allowed 2 earned runs in 15 innings this postseason. It has been really cool to see him break out on the biggest stage. Okay, so now it's time to pop the hood. We're going to go ahead and break down Lance McCullers and see whether or not the Phillies just had a really good game plan or he was actually tipping his pitches. Okay, so look at Lance McCullers' glove. When it's at about the bill of his cap, he's going to throw a curveball or off-speed pitch every single time. So take a look one more time. Here's another off-speed. It doesn't go above his bill cap of his hat. So there's another home run. Now, if he wants a sinker, it's almost like he has to rear up for it. So he's going to start a little bit higher. Here's the off-speed. Here's the sinker. It's clear as day.
With your expert eye, was Lance McCullers Jr. tipping some of his pitches?
Without a doubt. This is the slider. All the way up, almost. His glove is right up here.
Also, just to let you guys know, Pedro Martinez reversed it when the glove is down. That's an off-speed. When it's up, it's a sinker. But you guys understand what he's trying to say.
On the slider. Now, on the fastball, he barely reaches his ears. But just having it here, closer to your body, and then separating it this much, and they will be able to tell which pitch you're throwing when you show it to them.
That is fascinating.
It is that simple.
There you go. You saw the breakdown from me. I don't know if I explained it or articulated myself properly, but just in case I didn't, I had Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez break it down even more. I wasn't worried about Lance McCullers' mechanics in terms of his lower half. It was all in his hands and the glove. If he was going up, it was going to be one pitch. If it was going down, it was going to be a completely different pitch. That was probably what the Phillies hitter saw. But if not, I guess you can just chalk it up to the Phillies absolutely destroy Lance McCullers. And Lance himself even said that he was executing pitches and placing it where he wanted to go, but the Phillies they were just better.
Be today.
Lance, do you think on any level you were maybe tipping your pitches at all? There was a conversation that Harper had right before a home run was hit.
I think guys have conversations all the time, you know, before at bats and before innings and things like that. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say anything like that. I got whooped. End of story.
Let me know who you think is going to win this series. I will not be giving my prediction, even though I already tweeted it. I just don't want to jinx it live on YouTube because either side is going to get mad at me. If you're a Phillies fan, you jinxed me, Fuzz. Or if you're an Astros fan, wow, you didn't even knock on wood, you jinxed us. So I'm not going to give my opinion. If you find it on Twitter, you find it on Twitter. But 6 years ago today, to end today's video, my life changed forever. Cleveland blew a 3-1 lead in the 2016 World Series, and honestly, it's kind of become part of my brand. I have seen 3-1 every single day for the last couple years as I've done YouTube, and even before that, my coworkers at Apple, they would just go up and randomly say 3-1. So yeah, it's kind of part of the Fuzzy brand now.
Down the pitch, ground ball to third, base hit down the left field line. The go-ahead run will score. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.